Hey, what's up, Jimmy?
How's it going, Max?
Pretty good. How are you?
Not too bad. Just getting ready to start the new year. It's
Yes,
January 2nd, right? And so,
Yeah. I mean, how do you think 2023 was?
ooh, that's
Pretty
a tough question.
Yeah.
2023, being honest, was a lot slower than I anticipated. I think the economy certainly played a role. I think there were some other factors that happened in the industry that impacted the industry as a whole. And so I would say May, June, July, into August was pretty slow.
Yep, for sure.
And then I think it really started to pick up in November, December, and actually we're seeing a really strong start to January here. This is the first day back, and Vic himself has already done $10,000 in profit. I think he's already sold 5 or 6 watches. So if we can get Marco back in the office, that'd be great.
Yeah, it's a great start to the new year for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
How do you think 2024 is going to go? I mean, obviously we're at a good start now, but it's hard to really say.
I'm hopeful. I mean, I think in my conversations with Marco, the market's really stabilized in the last 2 to 3 months. We saw a lot of watches, like earlier in the year, I saw Rolex, AP come down quite a bit, but it wasn't until the last couple of months where we saw brands like Omega, Tudor, Panerai start coming back pretty hard as well.
Yep.
But I think in the last 2 or 3 months, the market's really stabilized. So I think with the stock market going back up, I see crypto going back up, election year, hopefully they're cutting rates and things start to pick up a little bit more. I think as long as the economy does better, I think the watch market will hopefully follow that. So
I agree.
We'll see.
Yeah, I'm excited for the year.
Oh, did you tell them about some of the changes that we wanted to make on YouTube?
No, not yet. I haven't.
All right, we're gonna try to bring back day in the life. I know that's something that we've gotten away from. We've listened to the feedback, and there's a lot of different things that go into day in the life. In the past, there's a lot of traveling, there's a certain lifestyle. Obviously, that's very expensive.
Yep.
Don't think it's really sustainable, but we are gonna try to get more client interaction in the store, show a lot more inventory and what's happening here from a sales perspective. So hopefully that gives a little bit more day in the life that people will like.
Yeah, that's what the people want, so that's what we're going to give them.
Well, we'll see. Here's the 2024. I hope it's better than 2023. But again, I want to thank all the clients that have worked with us over the years. Excited for all the new clients that we get to work with. And if you take a look, we actually have some pretty good inventory in, and hopefully we can fill them up. I know all of the display cases were full prior to Christmas.
Yep.
So we did sell quite a bit of watches.
End of the year hit pretty hard for sure.
It did. Except for you took like a 3-week vacation.
Oh, okay. Come on now.
All right, let's go check out the team.
Let's go.
We got all of the watches out here today. Me and my boy Gavin, we're gonna start loading these things up in the showcases. Kick off the day. We wanna walk you through how we do that process and hope you enjoy. My man over here got that hot box.
Dang, bro.
Yep. That one got
Lot
some
of-
heaters in there.
A lot of heavy hitters in here right now.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna start with the bread and butter sport models. Yes, sir. After going back and forth between Datejust, sky dwellers, day dates with the fluted bezels, I really like how they look, but I'm a guy who, if it's an everyday piece, I mean, even if it's not, I wear my stuff every day, so being cautious of that fluted bezel, just that ceramic gives me a peace of mind. I can just get out and enjoy it. I don't have to worry about keeping it clean. That high polished center link right there, it's inevitable. It's gonna scratch. You put your hand in your pocket. I mean, it is what it is, but you know that when you go into that piece. So for me, my lifestyle, sport models, that's the way to go for me. Got on a 40mm sub. It's a new piece.
Hey. Come back.
Man, you know how I do. I mean, it's addicting being around.
What
these
happened to
pieces
the Bart dial?
Bart dial. We still have it. I have a lot of respect for vintage, and seeing Marco every day, him wearing the nice pieces that he has, I kind of go back and revert to vintage. But it just doesn't. I think what I was saying, this everyday piece, even with that one, I found myself being cautious. That acrylic crystal versus sapphire. Certain times when you're reaching for stuff and you feel it rubbing against something, I don't know. My stomach drops. I hate that feeling. I just want a peace of mind of the ceramic. Yeah. So, yeah. But somebody like Marco, man, you won't catch him wearing a modern sub. It's gonna be vintage for sure.
The more you hang around Marco, the more you kind of find yourself get into that vintage realm. He kind of introduced me to it this month, actually. We're still rocking it strong, and the patina's actually
It's nice.
Yeah, it's gotten darker. There are secrets that we will not disclose on Day in the Life, but
I was gonna say the same. That patina is gonna have a funny story. We're gonna wait on that one though.
yeah. No, there is a method. We're not baking them. We're not doing anything crazy, but
Bro, I put it in my oven.
we got our ways.
I like these showcases a lot better than the old ones we had. I think Jimmy said he got the same company that makes Rolexes. This is theirs, right?
Yeah.
Their product.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
Right.
It took a while to get here, but
Yeah. Man, tell me about it.
Took a few months, but we'll be all right.
So I like the fact that when we put inventory up in the safe, this is the box they go in, but you can take this same pillow and just put it in these showcases here.
Yeah, because we used to have to swap
Yeah,
it.
exactly. And man, taking those off, putting them on and off pillows, it's gonna prematurely wear down a bracelet. A lot of times with hairlines and handling marks, this material will prevent all of that. I mean, to the eye, unless you have them side by side, you won't really see the difference.
I see it now, though. On the
But
camera.
so they call this right here the fat lady lugs. You can see the little wide hips right there. So you got the wide hips, and then those kind of slimmer down a little bit.
Yep.
And then the bracelet on B41s is going to be a tad bit wider. This is a little bit more tapered, a little bit wider bracelet here. Same thing, that's going to result in a little bit wider clasp. But man, I always struggled with 40 versus a 41. And I don't know, this past weekend wearing the 40, that's the piece that I don't know. I started thinking about what made me fall in love with Submariners. And it was just going to the AD, this is before I can afford one, trying one on, and just admiring the 40 back then. I find myself reminiscing when I see a 40, and that 41 is like, it's great, it's a new release, but there's no like excitement, you know. But to each their own. What do you guys think on the 40 versus 41? Which one would you take?
I'm a 40 guy.
You're a 40 guy?
Yeah. I do think it's like 41 millimeter, like it kind of is more proportional almost in the bracelet, but it looks fatter on the wrist in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, I know the maxi case is almost like bigger, but that like skinniness of the bracelet almost kind of just looks more classic to me.
Man, when I'm wearing it, one of my favorite things is the recessed lugs, So you have the bracelet right here in the case. Where it connects right here, it's recessed a little bit, where this is a little bit more flush.
Just looks meatier.
Yeah, it's just certain things like that, certain angles where you see stuff like that.
It's definitely a lot thinner than I thought, too.
Which one's that?
The 40.
Oh yeah, the bracelet.
Yeah, that maxi case is just, I don't know.
Maxi is
Discontinued, like, I don't know. It's just, this is what it is.
And this a little bit different design with the clasp. So nowadays they have a high polished piece in the center, where I want to say it was 2015, 2016 and prior, had that matte finish. I like the matte myself, and then I like the rehot on this one here. So back then, it's gonna be hard to see on the camera angle, but the rehot where it says Rolex, 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 they use like a double etching. Versus this rehot, it's more of like a, I don't know, seems like it cheapened up the rehot in my opinion.
I got it.
Which rehot do you like?
And now we're gonna put out some of our heavy hitters. This week, one of my favorites is the Daytona 116519 Beach. I mean, that seafoam green, I mean, it's beautiful. This is one of the watches that I'd love to have as a Grail watch. The whole collection is the green, the yellow, the pink, the blue.
Cosmo Wanda.
Cosmo and Wanda, yes sir. I may not seem like, I don't know, I'm not too flamboyant. I like neutral colors, but I do like shoes, watches that kind of have my little pop of style. So this is definitely a favorite for me. This is a pretty cool watch. We have a Tropic dial sub. That dial actually used to be blue, which is kind of hard to believe. Then, here, ready? Then we got Vic's watch he was gonna keep forever, the old Bart dial.
Damn.
It is a beautiful watch though. I may actually buy this myself. We'll see. You don't see many subs with that kind of dial.
All right, guys, we're gonna do some unboxings. Just another day in the life for us. You know, if it's in this box, it's gold. So, take this out, and there you go.
Damn.
1675 Tiffany & Co. GMT from 1978. Absolutely beautiful watch. One of my favorites. You guys know I wore one for a very, very long time. I think the longest watch I ever held onto in recent years was that watch, but I eventually sold it because somebody just gave me a price on it I could not refuse, and I had to let it go. It was just,
Here, let's pull that out.
yeah.
That thing is mint.
It is insanely nice, and it's all even wear. I mean, it doesn't have like crazy chamfers or anything, you know, it's not an unpolished example, but what I like so much about these is it's clearly a used watch. It was very well enjoyed. It wasn't polished up to look new again recently, so it just looks like whoever had it really enjoyed the watch and then decided to part with it. And as you can see, it's just in all kind of like an organic shape. So no recutting of the case, no altered parts. You can kind of see everything flows from the wear and tear of the bezel to the wear and tear of the bracelet, all seem to be consistent. So that's what I like seeing in these vintage GMTs. And you know, that's the great look. History might have to repeat itself. I may just wear it until somebody gives me the right price for it. But if you're watching this video and you like that watch, feel free to hit me up. Next watch, similar but not similar. Same year, same watch, but much newer looking. A lot of people go for this look. So there's different collectors out there. There's the guys that give it to me how the dog handled it, and there's the other one that says give it to me how it looks. I want it to look as fresh as possible, but retain that vintage appearance. And this is that watch. So this, as you can tell, this case was recut at some point in its life because the chamfers are way too small. They're not like factory chamfers on a 1675 should be a little bit more aggressive, where you could see more, you know, it should be a little bit more prominent. Dial, hands, bezel all look very clean. This bracelet looks extremely clean, and it's a very tight watch, but it looks very new, but also not new at the same time in a sense that it's a vintage GMT. But it looks really good, looks really pretty. You know, it'll look very nice in your watch box or an occasional wear. It's definitely not a daily watch that's been worn a lot, and maybe it was at one point, but they clearly restored it to look really nice again. You know, and market price right now on something like this is roughly 15 to 16,000. You know, for something this mint, like I said, it's in really good shape. So speaking of restored watches, we're going to be restoring a red sub, and that is what this is all about. So this watch came in to me from another watch dealer. They wanted us to sell it. They sourced the parts for it because at some point this watch was serviced and the dial hands were replaced, as well as this insert. So we need an insert, we need the dial, we need the hands. The good news is we got the dial and the hands. I'll show you guys that. Okay, we gotta clear the table because this is gonna get really messy. Yeah. So those are the hands. Yeah, they're in protected case. Okay. And that's the dial, and they match. So you got a matching dial hands. It looks like a Mark IV, Mark V. I'll research that here in a little bit, but I need to make sure it's appeared correct as well. And if it's not, what do they want to do? But here's what's really neat about this particular watch. It is very, very much used in a sense where like it's been polished. If I really were to break this watch down for you guys, just as it sits right here, forget the parts. You've got a service dial, service hands, service bezel, and a much later bracelet. And it's a 3 million series case, so it's going to be like right around 1971, and it's an early 3 million. So, and what's really cool about this watch, particularly, is how much stuff comes with it. So, you have everything from the original papers down to all the service receipts. Everything explaining what happened in this watch's life is there. So there's the original guarantee paper. So it is. It looks like it was sold in 73, but serial production comes around 70, 71. So not unusual there. And then you just have service records galore. You have the wallet, has more. Looks like it has business cards from whoever maybe helped this person out back in the day, back in New York. So that address is still there. So here is a Rolex. Let's see what they did here. Watch was not open, new bracelet only as per specific request. So it does have that new bracelet. It should have a 9315, which is a folded bracelet. So it should look like this. So if you can see the side of it, the metal is folded over on itself. And that's the style that a 3 million, 3 million serial sub would have. This has the heavier 93150, which as you can see, it's just a solid tight bracelet with hollow end links. They introduced these bracelets around 76. So this would predate that, so it should have that 9315. Factory movement service, no big deal. New tube, not a big deal. New crown, don't like it, but It is what it is. New crystal, that's okay. New dial, new hands, refinished case, new bezel insert. Oh my God.
Looks like the whole watch.
The whole watch was disassembled and diminished value happened. Pressure test, 660 feet, as the dial specifies. And then again, we have the new bracelet. This all happened in 1988. Wow.
Not even that far from the original.
Yeah, and the whole thing was $571. If that was in today's time, this invoice would be probably like $3,000.
Nice.
So that's the culprit behind this watch. So again, everything so far with this watch makes sense, but we are unwinding history with this watch by putting a new dial in it, getting the hands. That'll at least give it back. It'll allow it to be a red sub again. And they do actually make service red sub dials that were kind of introduced a little later. That are Luminova. They're kind of weird looking. I don't really like them. The word Submariner is very large in text and it's red, and that's how you would know it's a service dial. Because most of all dials, the word Submariner is usually written pretty small, but on a service dial, it would be blown up pretty big. So the word Submariner would be out pretty,
Prominent.
yeah, it'd be pretty prominent looking. So
What's up, guys? Today we pulled some inventory to show you guys the best watch collections under 5K, under 10K, and under 15K. So let's start with under 5. So under the 5K, we wanted to give you guys some variety. So we actually have a Tudor, a Cartier, and of course a Rolex. Older Datejust that's mid-90s, that's under 5K.
Think you know which one I'm gonna go with?
I think I know which one you're gonna go with too.
Man, I'm a Datejust guy. I feel like this as an entry watch, if you want something that's recognizable. I mean, people work up, save up, hard-earned money. So to me, it's just like, if I were going towards something like this, the Cartier, I know this is probably
Yeah, that's my choice. That's my choice.
It's just not everybody would know, like, oh man, that's a $5,000 watch perhaps.
Yep.
Whereas this would be easily recognized, but to each their own as far as being under the radar. Yeah.
So like Vic said, my choice is definitely gonna be the Cartier. This is a vintage Cartier, I think from the 70s or the 80s. For me, it's more like a passion thing because I just love vintage Cartier. But I do agree with Vic. This is one that's definitely gonna stand out. This was one of my first Rolexes too. I don't know about you.
I definitely started with a Datejust. As a matter of fact, when I got hired on to, our old company, I had came to buy a Datejust. I think it was like $2,200.
Yep.
But man, it's just hard to be at that price point. But
Yeah.
that far one over there, that Tudor,
Yep.
I think I love Tudor. It's a great brand, being a sister company to Rolex. So I just feel like the quality is there. If you're not ready to just fork out, for example, getting that same watch, you would have to go to a Submariner, I would say.
Yeah, and we have this one for $3,500, so it's actually the cheapest one that we have under 5K that's on this table, with the Rolex being $5,000.
Yeah.
But
And to get a sport model, having that kind of bezel and the lume on the indicates, with Rolex, you'll have to easily spend close to 10K. Some good options there. Rolex, Cartier, Tudor.
so here we have an Omega Seamaster, a Rolex Day-Date that we have pretty cheap, and then we also have an Air King.
The fact that a Day-Date this is what, 10,000 under?
Yeah, this is 10,000 under.
The fact that you can get a solid gold Day-Date under 10,000, and this is a very, very, very good example. This particular piece, I want to say we were asking, was it $775?
I think 7,500. Yep.
And the fact, man, a solid gold Day-Date for $7,500. We're releasing this video. I wouldn't be surprised if it's sold by the time it comes out. But I think that's a very good option for that price point.
And like it has the original bracelet or the original band with it, and it's hard seeing one in this condition. That looks so good.
Absolutely, and that's one of those pieces I ask myself every time I'm buying something like, oh, is it a good deal? And my thing is like, if I cannot replace this for the same price, then it's gonna be a good deal compared to everything else that's out there. But what is this
Yeah, I
here?
agree.
New style Air
So that's a
King?
new style with the crown guards.
Yep. What do you think about those crown guards?
I like the case shape. I do miss how rounded the other Air King was. I didn't care to have crown guards, but I definitely think it gives it a more sporty look, which it should
Yep.
be because it's a sports model.
Exactly. And for those who don't know, so on the back you have a safety lock. So if a Rolex does not have a safety lock, it is not a sport model. So all sport models will have this safety lock here. I really like how they added that function there. I think it definitely completes it for sure.
Yeah, I like these options for under 10K. I mean, this ceramic Omega for $6,800.
Right.
Honestly, the all black, just, I think it's incredible. I actually wore it for an hour or two in the office, and it made me like Omega Seamasters a little bit more. But because they're 42 millimeters, so
Yeah.
on my wrist it looks like a monster.
I
But
don't know why I just haven't. Well, you got some baby wrists. That's why.
yeah, I know.
Man, I don't know what it is about Omega that I've never just been drawn to them. I appreciate them, you know, so don't get me wrong. I think they're great watches, especially for that price point. But I don't know.
For me, it's just the history. It's iconic. The timekeeping is really good because honestly, if we're apples to apples on a Omega to a Rolex, technically they have better movements.
Yep.
You know, like they do better timekeeping. But if you're not somebody who appreciates something like that, then maybe you're not drawn to Omega.
Yeah, that's true.
Because you know everybody knows what a Rolex is.
Yep. All right, and these would be what, 15K and under?
Yep.
Cool. So Vacheron 56, these sell for around the neighborhood of 11, 12,000. Same thing depending on year and condition. Have a black Submariner. John Wick gave these out to his movie cast. I thought that was pretty dope. Like, I think this is the perfect everyday watch, you know, especially around that $13,000, $14,000 price point. And then going up to right around that 15K price point is the green insert, which they call the Starbucks.
For me, I love the fact that the Starbucks are kind of coming down to earth and matching the price of the regular Submariner.
Yeah,
Because really all you have is just a different color bezel, which I nice that they're coming to around the same price.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that when these first were released, I mean, it was a difference in probably what,
$5,000, $6,000, $7,000 easy.
you know, easy, just for the insert.
Yeah.
I don't know. Can you justify spending an extra $5,000 just to get a green insert? I actually owned this watch 3 times. You know, for some reason, I can't let it go, man.
You've owned every version too. MK1, MK2,
Right.
Kermit's, everything. All in the last month.
You got to edit that out. Nah.
But out of the 3 up there, I honestly think my favorite one is the Vacheron because I think it's 18 or 19K from the store, and they sell for so much under, and it's just like getting one of the holy trinities for less than 15,000 is crazy.
I mean, looking at your fit too, this is the watch that, you know, based on how you dress, I think it will suit you very well.
Yeah, I love that watch. I love that watch.
Man, $11,000 for something like this.
Yeah.
It's a nice piece.
For a Vacheron, I think that's crazy.
But I'm a sport guy, so I'm gonna have to rock with my Submariner.
I was gonna say, out of the 3 collections, which one do you think is the best collection out of the 3?
Not even because of price point, but just because how I utilize my watches. I'm going with this tray because I can just be subtle, under the radar, you know, daily piece here. When I want something that pops just a tad bit more, not too much. And then, you know, you go to church on Sundays, you know, got the wedding, got engagements. I mean, this watch right here would check those boxes. What about you?
If I had to ignore the Cartier sitting right here, I'd probably say this one because of versatility. Just because it has sports models, even that classic Datejust, but also just, you know, having the Cartier. It's a little bit more of a dress up kind of collection.
Right.
But I think I'm with you on the 15, under the 15 one, just because of the Vacheron.
Yep.
I think that's such a good deal that I
This
can't
is a
pass
shocker.
it.
This is a shocker. I mean, especially before the market. I mean, there is no way you would have saw a Vacheron for $11,000.
And I promise you, the owner of this watch did not pay us to talk so much about this Vacheron.
Oh man, no, just a great piece. I mean, it's been here a minute. Seriously, I'm surprised it has been here that long. But a watch like this, it just takes the right type of person to want to wear it. I mean, even at that price point, you know, a lot of people, they are concerned with resale value, and that's one thing that I'll look at is if I buy it and get ready to liquidate it, what is my audience that I can sell to? You know, but hey, life's short anyway. Enjoy these things. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you want to see more videos like this, comment, like, subscribe below. And I really want to know, what is your favorite selection up here? Would you go with the watches that are 5,000 below, 10,000 below, or 15,000 below? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys on the next one.